So, word on the street is that Claressa Shields just quietly detonated the biggest self-inflicted scandal of her entire career, and sources are alleging that she didn't just get caught in a hypocrisy loop. She practically live-streamed her own downfall while daring the internet to look away. Allegedly, she is now claiming to be the victim of some phantom side chick coalition sliding into Papoose's inbox, and word on the street is that this is the exact same woman who allegedly slid into Remy Ma's man in the first place, wearing Remy Ma's fashion cues like a Halloween costume. I know some of y'all called this from a mile away, but for the tea to be dripping like this out of Claressa herself, honey, that is entirely something else. Grab a pillow, lock the door, and don't you dare skip a second, because this one has receipts, siblings, a knocked-out trainer, a Section 8 threat, a mystery inbox, and a $250,000 house rented out from under a grown man's feet. She spent years selling us the greatest of all-time story, but tonight the internet is rewriting the entire caption underneath her legacy, and Papoose, Remy Ma, Alicia Baumgardner, and even her own little brother are holding the pen. Okay, guys, if y'all have noticed, every single time she opens her mouth lately, another domino falls. First it was the fashion cosplay of Remy Ma. Then it was allegedly getting cozy with Remy Ma's husband. Then it was the whole delusional pivot where she decided to lecture other women about being weird for messaging Papoose, as if she herself did not build this exact bridge, brick by brick, in Remy Ma's inbox. And now, because the entire timeline has decoded her playbook, people are saying this isn't a scandal anymore. This is a pattern. In fact, there have been receipts flying around for months whispering that Claressa Shields was way too eager to be inside that marriage. And allegedly, this is something Papoose can privately confirm and publicly protect. Allegedly, guys, allegedly. But anyway, honey, as much as we haven't seen a smoking gun DM screenshot, y'all must admit that it is hard to fight the allegations when you asked a woman for style advice, ended up dressing like her, and then ended up with her husband. That is not a coincidence. That is a curated portfolio, and Claressa curated it. Now, she hopped online with a whole speech pretending she was the queen of moral high ground. She said, quote, "I'll be so glad I'm not you bees because y'all can't possibly think it's okay to walk up to a man and start a conversation with him about the woman he's dealing with." Doodle heads, she called them. Doodle heads. A grown woman, on her main page, saying doodle heads. And mind you, she typed this like she has not spent the last 2 years living inside the very inbox she is now accusing other women of trespassing in. Is this not the pot calling the kettle black? Because I am pretty sure that when Claressa Shields first slid into Papoose's messages, the conversation went exactly like, "Did you and Remy do this? Did Remy do that?" Their entire relationship was public. Their entire marriage was public. So how exactly is she not the original weirdo in this equation? And here is where it gets crazy. Whether Papoose downplayed his relationship with Remy Ma or not, we will never know, because Papoose and Claressa have both built brands on a very flexible relationship with the truth. We do not even know the origin story of their first interaction. We do not know who slid where. We do not know what was said. What we do know is that the second she tried to play judge and jury over other women in that inbox, the comment section detonated on top of her head. Because listen, the same internet she tried to lecture came back with the receipts folded neatly. Tarna Waiter told her, quote, "I stand with you when you are right. But baby, you should have sat this one out." Sierra said flat out, "But you did it." S. Bright reminded everybody, "He is a free agent, isn't he?" Majestic M dropped the classic, "Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun." Kenyatta Williams went scorched earth about miserable women who cling to unavailable men just to prove a point. Lorena Walker went full comedy roast. "He's married, not blind. Only you think we're ugly. I don't know about y'all, but I'm fine as hell, and I'm about to go inbox him now." Renee Thomas closed the coffin. "Karma stings, doesn't it?" Every single one of those comments landed, and every single one of those comments was aimed directly at Claressa Shields. And listen, do y'all seriously think this was the first woman to ever slide into Papoose's DMs? Be so for real. In a 2-year window? With Papoose being publicly branded as available, publicly exposed as a cheater, and publicly attached to a champion boxer with money? You do not think a single female shot her shot before this? The door does not just open once a man is exposed. The door gets kicked completely off the hinges. Married men get more attention, not less. Committed men get more attention, not less. And that is precisely why this whole outrage act from Claressa is not passing the smell test. Because either she is trolling for engagement, or she is genuinely delusional. There is no third option. But hold on, because if the timing is what I think it is, this inbox story might not even be about a real woman at all. This might be an influencer setting up Claressa Shields for a story. This might be a gossip page baiting her into a reaction. This might be a rival looking to trigger a viral clip. Papoose, if he has half a brain, already knows women have been messaging him just to be petty, and he has said absolutely nothing publicly. So the question isn't whether the inbox is real. The question is why she felt so pressed to answer it that she torched her own credibility in the process. What do y'all think? Trolling or delusion? Comment down below, because we are just getting warmed up. Because now, she has moved on to burning down the second bridge of the week, her family. Claressa posted, quote, "Done helping people, on my soul. You don't work, you don't eat." And listen, on paper, that is a philosophy I fully agree with. Everybody in your bloodline is not entitled to your bank account. But when she says it, it hits different, because when she cuts you off, she does it with a scorched earth energy that reveals exactly how she moves when she has power. She will leave you. She will not pay for your funeral. She will send you back to the Section 8 complex you came from. And that, right there, is what the internet is starting to see about Claressa Shields. The money did not build her character, it exposed it. Now she hopped on live and delivered one of the most jaw-dropping quotes of her entire year. She said, quote, "In the morning I'll be on the plane, and I have made arrangements for your kids, since you want to stay in Flint for 2 days. Miss 3 days, actually. Miss your flight. Then you want to catch a Greyhound back, and you got a 1300 first-class flight back to Atlanta. I'm telling you, this girl is about to get cut off." And then she went nuclear. "As soon as you jump online lying on me again, I got something for you. If you want to go back to Flint and live in the Regency, baby, go back." Now I did not know what the Regency was, so I looked it up. The Regency in Flint is Evergreen Regency, the largest subsidized Section 8 residential community in the entire area. In other words, she didn't just threaten her sister. Claressa threatened to redeposit her right back into the trenches on live camera. Look, a lot of y'all know she creates job titles for her friends the way Diddy created label positions. Trainer? Trainer/hype woman. Assistant? Assistant/vlog partner. It doesn't feel like a professional operation. It feels like a group chat with W-2s. And when your entire inner circle is on that kind of payroll, of course the second you go through a mood swing, the whole ecosystem starts collapsing. But she is going to swing anyway, because she swings first and thinks second. That is the entire brand. Now let's talk about Peanut. Her little brother, the one Twitter has dragged for months for allegedly living on his sister's dime, driving her car, and doing exactly zero of the work. Peanut hopped on his little vlog and told the world, and I am quoting, "My sister just got me a new car and I love it. I got to get some acting roles. I might need to get a regular day job probably, but I'm going to keep pumping out mobile game content." That is not a career plan. That is a wish list from a man in the passenger seat of his sister's success. And when a fan told him he sounded like a female, this grown man, with a whole child, responded with, quote, "Okay. No pushback. No spine. Just okay." What man is casually okay with being told he sounds like a woman? What man watches his sister feed him, house him, gas up his car, and still refuses to grow into himself? This is the guy Claressa has been carrying, and the internet finally noticed. But it gets even worse, because last year she herself pulled the receipts on this same brother. Claressa posted, quote, "My little brother rigged my website and made his own email on my website and started charging people to email me, and then lied and said he was my agent." She said he was cursing out BET and Revolt for not paying his fake booking fee. She said she bought him a $9,000 car. She said she paid his $300 phone bill. She said she housed him at her home for 6 months for free. She said he then flipped the script and told her, quote, "Desperate times call for desperate measures." Almost 30 years old, 30, cursing out television networks in his sister's name, scamming her fans, living in her house, and then blaming her when she rented out that $250,000 property and he ended up sleeping in his car. And the text he sent back? "If you touch me, we going to have a problem too big for you to solve." That is not a brother. That is a hostage taker with Wi-Fi. But here's where it gets crazy. This isn't even the worst sibling story, because a fan from Georgia, who flew all the way to 2 Claressa Shields fights on her own dime, first-class ticket, ringside seat, went online and dropped a story time that I promise you is going to sit differently in your chest. She said she attended an earlier fight in Detroit, and what she witnessed at ringside made her uncomfortable for Claressa, not because of Claressa, but because of the family in matching shirts around her. She said one of the sisters had to be physically dragged out of the venue. She said the sister was screaming, causing scenes, being consoled by another sibling in a matching shirt. She said she thought to herself, "This girl is really trying to go places. This kind of behavior will take her down." And she never told anybody, until Claressa herself opened the door. Because then came Flint. October 4th, 2019. Claressa Shields was set to fight Ivana Habazin for the vacant WBO junior middleweight title. This was supposed to be her hometown coronation. And instead, 10 minutes before the weigh-in, her older brother, artist Mack, allegedly walked up to Habazin's 68-year-old trainer, James Ali Bashir, a man who had trained heavyweight legends like Vladimir Klitschko, and delivered a sucker punch that would rewrite her entire career narrative. Bashir hit the concrete of the Dort Federal Event Center. He was knocked unconscious. He was bleeding. He was rushed into emergency surgery for facial fractures. The fight was canceled on the spot. The hometown moment, gone. Not because of anything she did in the ring, but because of the exact family she keeps insisting she is loyal to. Artist Mack pleaded guilty to aggravated assault. Artist Mack served a year in prison. And Claressa, the same woman who wants to lecture other women about respect and boundaries today, went online and said, quote, "Nobody from my team was involved. I was with all females." Now to her credit, she also said the trainer had been loudly disrespecting her sister, allegedly calling her out of her name repeatedly. She said her uncle and boyfriend both tried to calm the situation down. She said she personally told her sister to sit down and stop arguing. But that fan from Georgia? She had already seen this movie once. She had already watched a sibling of hers go nuclear at a fight. She flew to Flint anyway. She was in the mall buying a chain when she heard the fight was canceled. And when she asked why, someone told her, quote, her brother knocked out the coach. That is the sentence that ended a title night in her own hometown. And listen, she is the oldest sibling. She sets the tone. She is the ceiling. So if we're being honest, either Claressa Shields raised this energy or she adopted it. Either way, the pattern is not the siblings. The pattern is the household. The pattern is her. And every single time she tries to reset the narrative, another chapter drops and locks the frame back in place. Now let's talk about that fan's second story, because it explains why she cannot seem to stop tripping over her own feet. After the fight was canceled, she still went to the undercard to support other fighters. This fan was sitting right behind her, front row, ringside. She said the manager, the shorter Jewish guy, not the bald one, walked over and told her, quote, "You have to go in the back when this event comes on, because the cameras are coming out. You can't sit out here." And he was authoritative. He knew this did not look good. He knew a boxer being on camera at the same event her brother had just derailed was a public relations grave. So he told her to move. And according to this fan, she got up and walked off. Not questioning, not arguing. Because deep down, she knows exactly what the optics are. She just refuses to police them until somebody stronger than her ego forces her hand. That is the entire Claressa Shields dilemma in one paragraph. She does not lack talent. She does not lack accolades. She does not lack money. She lacks a filter, and the people around her have every incentive not to hand her one. And now, in 2026, with a movie about to drop, with a whole legacy positioning moment on the horizon, she is still out here posting doodle heads and threatening her sister with the Regency and getting clowned by comment sections that used to defend her. This isn't a bad week. This is a bad architecture. But wait, because we haven't even gotten to the part where Alicia Baumgardner enters the chat. In her most recent interview, Claressa tried to preemptively kill any Baumgardner fight talk. She looked the interviewer dead in the eye and said, "You can't be interested in that because Alicia is 130. She never fought no other weight class but 130. When the interviewer replied, she said she'll come up to 147. She dismissed it. When have I fought at 147? She continued, when I was at 154, that was years ago. None of them girls at 147 wanted to fight me. And I'm going to tell you something. Alicia Baumgardner knows better. She can't box like me. She's not as strong as me. Then she added the shade. She's cute. Baby girl, we're all cute when we put our hair and makeup on. Classic Claressa. Dismiss, downplay, and dust off. Except here is the twist. Days after that interview, Alicia Baumgardner posted her weight. And guess what number Alicia Baumgardner is walking around at right now? 146.6 pounds. 0.6. Almost exactly the number Claressa just dismissed as impossible. Almost exactly the 147 she told the interviewer would never happen. And when Boxing Bells asked Alicia Baumgardner, "Who are we training for?" Alicia Baumgardner just smiled and said, quote, "You'll see. You'll see." 2 words. 2 words that just put every single one of her excuses in the coffin. Because think about what this actually means. Claressa Shields spent the last 2 years posting workout content, romantic content, sibling drama content, doodleheads content, fashion cosplay content, everything except a signed Baumgardner fight. Meanwhile, Alicia Baumgardner has quietly climbed 16 pounds, ended the "she can't reach my division" excuse, and issued a 2-word public ultimatum. And the woman who built her career on being the greatest of all time cannot even claim the ducking narrative anymore, because Alicia Baumgardner just closed the last exit. This is a countdown clock, and she does not control it. And now put it all together in one frame. She is fighting Papoose's inbox. She is fighting her own sister. She is fighting Peanut. She is fighting the ghost of artist Mack Sucker Punch. She is fighting comment sections quoting her own posts back at her. And in the middle of all of that, Alicia Baumgardner is bulking up in silence, letting Claressa Shields punch herself into public exhaustion before ever stepping into a ring. That is not a rival, that is a strategist. And Claressa, whether she wants to admit it or not, is losing rounds every single time she opens her phone. Now, before we close this out, I want you to sit with something. She has 2 Olympic gold medals. She is arguably the most decorated female boxer alive. She did what nobody in that sport had ever done. And the reason she is on the internet's chopping block right now is not because the accolades disappeared. It is because Claressa cannot resist a mic. She cannot resist a comment section. She cannot resist an inbox. She cannot resist the last word. And that inability to just be quiet. That is the exact character flaw that turned every ally into a critic and every accomplishment into a footnote. Because here is the part she has not accepted yet. The audience already made up its mind. The comments already voted. The receipts are already framed. Claressa Shields is not going to argue her way back into being the sympathetic figure in this story, because the story is not being written on her page anymore. It is being written in every comment section that quotes her own posts back at her. It is being written in every Remy Ma clip somebody re-uploads. It is being written in every Peanut vlog somebody screenshots. It is being written in the 2-word Alicia Baumgardner mic drop that she still hasn't publicly answered. And the more she talks, the more the pen moves without her. So let me ask you straight. Do you think she has any right to be upset that another woman allegedly slid into Papoose's inbox when Claressa Shields allegedly did the exact same thing to Remy Ma? Do you think she is trolling for algorithmic engagement? Or do you think Claressa is genuinely spiraling in public? Do you think Peanut and the rest of the siblings are leeches milking the platinum lifestyle? Or do you think she herself created that dependency and is now punishing them for accepting the terms she offered? Do you think Alicia Baumgardner is actually coming for that belt? Or is this just another 2-word bluff Claressa will find a way to sidestep? And most importantly, do you now see how Claressa Shields is not the victim of her family, her ex-adjacent drama, or her rivals, but the architect of her own unraveling? Drop your verdict in the comments. Rip her apart. Defend her with your life. But do not sit on the fence, because that is what she is counting on, and that is exactly why this scandal is going to keep multiplying. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe. Turn on the bell so you don't miss the second Alicia Baumgardner officially signs the paperwork, because when that day comes, this timeline is going to look like child's play compared to what's next. I'm Kiki. Grab your pillow, because trust me, Claressa Shields is not done yet. Not even